Hey guys, Thunder here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see my other videos. Okay, so this was supposed to be the video that I made my mom's Christmas present in. However, I've had a lot going on, a lot of other stuff, and I'm just not going to be able to make the big project that I wanted to. So, yeah. Having to pivot on that, I bought her something off of Amazon. There was really nothing else for that. I had to have something, so yeah. But in a video earlier this month, we made this guy. He's not the best sewn, I understand that, but it's what I had, what I could do with what I had at the time. Still a really cute little bear in a hat. Really cute. I mentioned I had more of these kits, and I do. I have, let's see, 6 more. They're behind the camera, so I have 6 more. I think what I'm going to do is make those, and, yeah. I'll probably still put them, like, underneath the tree as a Christmas present for my mom, because she loves Christmas. So Christmas ornaments like this will definitely make her day. So we already have the bear. I'm going to try and get through as many of these kits as I can. I'm only going to open up one today and then show you the stuff that's in it. I'll go make it, and then I'll come back either later on today or tomorrow or whatever, open up the next kit, make it, and just do it like that. That way I'm not opening all the kits at once, and it's not going to be like overwhelming to do. So I'm going to show you the kits that I have first. First off, I have a Santa ornament. These are the boy kits. Boyd? No, there's no D. Boy. B-O-Y-E. They're like the hooks that you can get. These are the kits. So we have Santa. We have a penguin, which I actually somehow ended up with 2 of these. We got these like on after Christmas sales last year, so yeah. We have a reindeer. I was going to call it a moose, but it says it's a reindeer. Okay. We have a gnome. My mom loves gnomes, so definitely going to try and get to that one. And then we have a snowman. So, I think I'm going to start with this one, just because it, my opinion, it looks so dang cute. So let's open this up, and it's going to get a little loud because I did not pre-open this one, so yeah. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too loud. Let's see, first things first, on top we have this yarn, and it's still so soft. I'm just hoping that this time there's enough of it, because last time with the bear, I had to use my own yarn, because there wasn't enough of this. So I'm hoping, and I think I threw that yarn away. I'm not able to reuse that yarn for these projects, but we have a really nice blue and a really nice pink. We have some brown and some orange, and my dog is apparently leaving the room. And then we have what looks to be a lot of white. I'm going to try and use this yarn. I really want to, but I had issues with it last time. And then we have the hook, and a needle, and a plastic safety, or not safety, stitch marker. That's the words I'm looking for. Last time I tried really hard to use this hook, but it was awful. This one feels better. So maybe that was just last time. Maybe it was just a hook last time. But this one feels better. It is a 3.75, which is not bad. And it feels better. It does still feel, because I think last time I had an issue because it kind of felt, I want to say sticky, but I know it's not sticky, but kind of felt like the yarn was sticking to it. This one has a little bit of that feel, but not as much. I'm not using the needle or the stitch marker, though. Then we have the stuffing, which if I remember last time, I know I used the stuffing. I cannot remember if I had to put in more stuffing. Cannot remember, but this is pretty decent stuffing. The last thing in the box is just the instructions. I'm not going to pull those out because I don't want to accidentally leave the pattern. But yeah, we're going to make a snowman. So we're going to get off of here. We're going to get to the couch and we're going to get to crocheting. Hey guys, okay, so I finished with the snowman ornament. We was making it out of this kit. And yeah, so I'm going to show you the finished product and then tell you what I thought about the ingredient, or not the ingredients, about the supplies that came with it, and then we'll pick another one and I'll do it today. So first things first, the reveal. Yeah, I think it's pretty cute. It came out pretty close to the box, so there we go. Yeah, pretty close. Overall, found it a pretty easy pattern. Yeah, I was actually able to use, and I did use everything that came in the kit, including the needle and the stitch marker. I think that you can see that in some of the videos. At least the stitch marker. I didn't film doing any of the sewing, but yeah. Came out pretty good. Pretty cute. Definitely bigger than this guy, but not by much. I was able to use this yarn, plus I had much, like the yarn that came in the kit, plus I had some left over. So it just makes me wonder about the bear kit if somebody else had like taken it, or if just not enough had been put in or what. But I did have to add in some extra stuffing, not just for the earmuffs but also into the head. There was just not enough stuffing, but if that's the only thing that I have to add in, I think I'm good on that. So yeah, let's see, I'm going to show you how much yarn I actually had left over as I throw everything. Okay, so of the white, which is the main head, well, the color for the head, I had a pretty decent bit left over. For the orange, again, a pretty decent bit, but you didn't have to have much for that. The blue, still a pretty good bit. The black, all you had to do was just embroider with it, so again, a pretty good bit. And then the pink. I think the pink is the one that I probably have the least amount of, maybe. But either way, I still had a good bit left over, so I was really happy with that. This is the hook that they provided. This is the hook that I used. I will say that this one was easier to use than the last one. It still hurt my hand and my wrist though, because I'm not used to using these anymore. But I also noticed, I don't know if you can see or not, I'm trying to get it where you can. The yarn did like split and snag in a couple of spots. So that was a bummer. But overall, I think it was fine. And this hook was way better than the last one. Like I was actually able to use this one to do more than like a couple rounds. It was decent. Not my favorite hook in the world, but it did the job. The stitch marker, every time I put it in there, at first I wasn't closing it, and then I started to close it, and it felt like it was going to break the entire time. It did not, but it felt like it. The needle, it definitely was a little tricky. It was very hard. I used the bent needle because it can get around and that's just where the tip of the needles are bent. It can just get around the stitches easier. And this one, I felt like I was trying, I felt like I was trying to break it when I wasn't, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to put this stuff back in the box. The needle and the stitch marker, not my favorites. The pattern was pretty easy to follow. I did not follow every single thing in the pattern because it wants you to chain one after every round. I just don't see the need to do that, so I just didn't. But it came out pretty decent. I mean, I don't think that I made any changes to this. So maybe how I did the scarf. Yeah, I think I changed how I did the scarf. But it told you to sew it at like the third round on the bottom. And my scarf was not long enough to do otherwise, so I just did it like that. But that's 2 ornaments down, and now we need a new kit. So I'm thinking my mom loves gnomes, and there's this one. I can't tell how much crochet is actually involved in this one, and I think you're gonna have to make the tassel, and then the beard is gonna be interesting. But I'm kind of curious on how this one works. So let's open this, see what all is in here, and we'll be making this day. I don't think I can make more than one in a day though, just because of how strenuous these are on my wrist. If I can get this open, it would be a good thing. This one is not cooperating though. Yeah, this one is not working with me. But yeah, I definitely cannot do more than one in a day. Okay, so we have the yarn. That definitely looks like enough. Because I'm guessing that we're going to have to make a ball with it and then make the nose. So that definitely looks like enough. That's the hat. That also looks like enough. We have the green. We have the white. And then let's see here. We have another hook, stitch marker, and needle. The same stuff. 3.75. We have the stuffing. And then the instructions. So I think all the kits are pretty much going to be the same, but just different colors. This yarn though is just so soft. I'm hoping that today won't split as bad as yesterday. Really excited to make the gnome though. Like I said, I mangled the box. Really excited to do this. I don't know if I'm going to add the tassel. I just don't know about that one. It's just going to depend on how much yarn I have left. Like, I could always use some of what I didn't use in the snowman for it, but we're going to be making a gnome today. So, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get to the couch and get to crocheting. Hey guys, okay, so yesterday we was making, just take it out of the box, this. So this is going to be our third ornament out of these kits. One of them, I did not have enough yarn to make it out of the actual yarn that came with the kit, so yeah. Here's our gnome. He is huge, and disregard that did not come out well, but he's huge. What took the longest yesterday was not even crocheting it, it was this tassel, which honestly does not look good. And then the beard. But it did come out, save for my botched snowflake. Pretty much like the thing on the box. The beard is a little bit more scraggly. He's been through some things. And then the tassel is a little scraggly. It didn't tell me to unwind the yarn for the tassel, but I'm looking at it, and I think they unwound theirs. So maybe that's the problem with mine, but yeah. He's done. He's finished. He's ready for the tree. So that's our third one done. And I'll show you what I had left over and we'll talk about the kit. It's pretty much the same as the other kit. The hook, it was actually a little bit better than the one for the snowman. So maybe these hooks are just going to keep getting better as we go. Or maybe my hand is just getting a little bit more used to it. Who knows? The yarn, again, had a pretty good bit of the colors left over. Not as much as what I did with the snowman. So I'm kind of wondering, did I miss something on the snowman? But I did use the needle and the stitch marker. Again, they really did feel like they were going to break on me. The pattern was pretty easy though. The hat is very tall, very large. I followed it. I probably would have cut out like 2 or 3 of the rounds. So, but I followed the pattern. As far as the white, which was for the beard and the embroidery, I have this much left over. Pretty good bit. The blue from the hat, and then I used it to do the tie for the tree. I have this much left over, which is still a pretty good bit. The skin color, this much. I was actually getting worried because I was getting very, very low when it came to the like ball for the head. And I was like, I still have to make a nose. So I was getting very worried, but it lasted. And then the green. So, still got a decent amount of that. But, yeah. So now we got to pick, putting those back into the kit. Now we got to pick another one. And I'm thinking, since I'm only doing one a day and I have 2 penguins, I'll do 1 penguin today and then 1 over the weekend. And then I can come back and show you. I don't know how much yarn the scarf is going to use. But maybe I can pull like a different color yarn out of one of the other 2 kits. Like I still had the snowman. I think I still had enough of that blue where maybe I could just pull it. So maybe I could just use this blue for one of the penguins and do that instead of the red, instead of both of them having the red. Or maybe I just make them both with red, and because it looks like it's going to be more yarn than what the snowman was. But maybe I just make them both red and just give one away to someone. Might do that. Just to keep up with using what was in the kits. Might do that. It's just going to depend on how I feel about it. But let's open it. Open one of them anyway. And I'm pretty certain it's going to be about the same as what was in the rest of the kits. But let's just see. If I can get it open. There we go. Okay, so we have brown. I guess that's supposed to be like a brownish black. It looks more brown to me, but okay. We have red, orange, black. That's black. Okay, so we're going to have like a brownish, grayish penguin. We have the white. The instructions, the stuffing. Again, with the gnome, I had to use more of my stuffing. And it did not tell me to stuff the hat, but I did, so yeah. And then it looks like we have the exact same hook, needle, stitch marker as before. I'm not going to open up both kits because they should both have the same stuff. So, and then obviously it has the pattern. Yeah, so we're going to get off here, get to the couch, and get to crocheting a penguin. Hey guys, okay, so I got both penguins done now. Yeah, I think the penguins might just be cursed. They just might be. But this, for the first one, this is how much of the, like, it's more of a gray once you start working with it, so it's not brown, it is gray. But that's how much of the gray that I had left. This is how much of the red for the first one. The orange you really just use for the nose, the black you really just use for embroidering, and then that's the white. So that's the first one's leftover yarn. Again, the hook, this one actually was probably the best one. I mean, I know they're all the same, but it was probably the best. The stitch marker, the needle, they still felt like they were going to break. So, yeah. But everything was going so well on this first one until the sewing and the embroidery, and I'm going to just show you. It's cursed. It's really just cursed. If you've ever watched Star Wars, like the most recent ones, they have these creatures called porgs. I think that's what this one looks like. It looks more like a porg than it does a penguin, but yeah. So that's the first one. Moving on to the second one. Let me see. I gotta get this stuff out. Again, it's kind of a little bit cursed. Had about the same amount of gray left, which was good. I did just go ahead and give it the same red scarf since I messed up so badly on the first one. So red, and then black and orange. I will say though that I do wish that all these kits that I've been doing would stop putting them like in the hanks, because it is so hard to get them to roll up into a ball, and you just cannot crochet from that. You really just cannot. And like this kit has it in a skein. Love that. Really love that part. But the hanks, that's like what been in this one, I think that's what they're called. They're awful. They get tangled. Even trying to just roll them up, I've been having issues. But yeah, this hook in this second kit was not my favorite. But I was so determined, and you will see that I did not show you any leftover white. I was so determined though to get this right this time, to get it to look like a penguin. I accidentally put one too many rounds on the white part. So it looks like a penguin though. But yeah. So here it is. It looks more like a penguin than the other one. But the embroidery of the eyes is just, it's so hard to get it in there, because that's like 5 double crochets, and it's so hard to do it. I'll show you side by side. I definitely think the second one came out better than the first one. Even the scarf is like better. But yeah. So the penguins are done. Or the penguin and the porg are done. Yeah. Again, I am finding though that as I keep working with this yarn, it is getting easier. I'm still having snags here and there. I hope you could tell. But it is getting easier, and I am getting faster. Majority of these all start with a ball as the base, and it's the same pattern, so I'm really able to get those done and out of the way. But this means that we only have 2 kits left. I should just do this. 2 kits left. A reindeer and a Santa, and I really want to go ahead and get the Santa out of the way, just because of the fact that I had so much trouble with the beard on the gnome, and this one has a pretty similar looking beard, and I just want it out of the way. I really just do. Let's see if I can get it open. I'm going to mangle this box as well. I think I've only been able to like nicely open 1 or 2. Maybe just 1 looking at it. Maybe just 1. Okay, so we have the white again in a hank. Really wish that they'd stop doing that. The red. Okay, he does have cheeks. The black and the pink. We have the tan color. We have the instructions. We have the stuffing. And then we have the same packet of needle, hook, and stitch marker. And it is, again, a 3.75. So we are going to make Mr. Claus today. Tomorrow we will come back and I'll show you how Mr. Claus goes. And then we'll start on our last one, and we're almost done. So far, if you're counting, I have 5 ornaments done. And I'm going to work on my 6th one today. But let's get off here, get to the couch, and get to crocheting. Hey guys, okay, so we had 2 kits left to do, and I got one of them done yesterday. So here's Santa with his crazy beard and pom-pom. That was the best they could get. I think he came out pretty good, pretty decent. He does have cheeks on both sides, just one side kind of gets hidden by the beard, but I think he came out cute. He came out looking like Santa, so that's a win. As far as the yarn left, I had this, that was the white, and then these 2 were just embroidery, and then I used the pink for the hanger, so no big deal. Again, not really much trouble with any of it. I think I'm getting better with the yarn though, because I had far less like snags and loops and things. There's a little bit, but not much, so I think it'll be okay. And yeah, which brings us to having 6 ornaments done, and we only have 1 more left. I went ahead and opened this box, so it's going to look a little mangled. Didn't want to open. We have the reindeer left, so let's see what we have. Of course, we have the stuffing. We have the light brown, the white and black, the regular brown, and then we have well, okay, there's the other stuff. It's in the instruction book. And this, I realized when I was editing this video, just to try and keep it caught up, that this can be a very long video, so sorry, or you're welcome, depending on how you feel about that. But again, we have the same hook, stitch marker, and needle. So, last ornament to make. Kind of looks a bit simple, but then on the other hand, it kind of doesn't. We'll see. We're going to get off here and go make it. Hey guys, okay, so I finally have all these kits made. This was the last one, and my reindeer's not gonna look like that. Plain and simple. First things first, we had white and black. They were just used for embroidery, and then this is the other two colors we had left. This one was not supposed to be this much left, but the pattern, this is honestly the first of these ornament kits where the pattern was not all the way making sense. Everything, the ears, the muzzle, the head, perfectly fine, made it, sewed it together. The antlers were the problem. The pattern, I tried it multiple different times, multiple different ways. It just does not make sense to me. I don't know what it is, but it's, my brain could not compute what I was supposed to do there, so I made my own antlers. That's why there's so much of that brown left over. So here's my reindeer. The antlers are not the best, but they're what I could get. So yeah, I honestly think it looks more like a moose maybe than a reindeer. And then the nose is kind of lopsided. I just now realized that, but at that point I had been playing with, there we go, that looks a little bit better. At that point I had been playing with the antlers for so long, I was just like, let me sew this together and see if it even needs antlers. And it kind of did, because otherwise it kind of just looked like this. And while that kind of does look like a deer, yeah, I think the ears are too big too. But what was supposed to be an easy last one was not. So I'm going to show you all again. This is the bear one that for whatever reason did not have enough yarn in it. I even sized down on my hook when I was doing this one and still didn't have enough of the yarn, so I don't know what the issue was there. But so this one is not made, and I did not make this. I made this earlier in the month. Still love it, still cute. Then we have the snowman, which is possibly my favorite of the ones that we did in this video, just because it was easy, it came out easy, it came out nice. Yeah. We have the gnome. Really love this one. My mom saw it and was like, how much? And I'm like, it's not for sale. And then let's see here, which one? There's the porg. Not gonna call it a penguin. Gonna call it a porg. I think, honestly, this is probably more on me than it is on the pattern or anything, but yeah. It's because we did get a penguin. So yeah, our two penguins. We have Santa and Mr. Reindeer Moose. So 7 ornaments. They're supposed to be for my mom for Christmas, but I think I'm just going to put them on the Christmas tree like randomly and see if she notices. That sounds like fun. So yeah, that's all I have for you. These kits, if you can find them, I have not noticed them out in store yet this year, and it's getting pretty late, so I figured that they probably would have been. They're not bad. The reindeer one with the antlers, you definitely are going to have another plan. I don't know. I had fun making these. I had a lot of fun making these. The patterns are pretty good. They're pretty simple, pretty easy. Yeah, all I can say is we got them on sale for after Christmas sales. And if you can do that, definitely. But I also would not mind paying, like, I'm not going to pick up that one. That was the porg. I would not mind paying like maybe $5 for this kit, because the instructions are good. The yarn is really soft. It's a little hard to work with because of it's like twisted together. I'm trying to show you. It's like twisted here, so you can get some snags, but the patterns are good. The yarn, I like it. I did have to use extra stuffing with all of them except for maybe this guy, because he's a lot smaller. And yeah, other than the antlers on the reindeer, mine came out like the boxes, like the pattern. So I would not mind paying like maybe $5. No more than that though. So if you can find them for around that range or under, I would say go for it. They're not bad kits. The stuff that it comes with, the needle and the stitch marker never did break, even though it felt like they were going to. The hooks, not my favorite, but I was able to use them, so that's a step up from some of the other ones that we've used. And yeah, I like the end product. I really do. I think they're going to be cute on the Christmas tree. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of my other videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.